How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. I know I'm doing pretty well myself. Today we have the second ever episode of Vaughn Coleman Presents, and not only that, I have some exciting announcements of things to come. But before we get to any of that, I want to just give you guys the generic reminder. Make sure that if you aren't already, that you subscribe. I know you look. You got to do it. You got to do it. So make sure you do that. And make sure that you give this individual who I'm about to have on, at the very least, a follow. That's at the least, but we're better than that. At the most, make sure that you back his campaigns. We'll bring him on without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen him before on the channel, maybe if you were here. If not, welcome. You get to meet him again. Paul Thayer, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing very well. Just enjoying myself, laid back. And you've got some stuff that you're working on or have worked on, right? But first, why don't you introduce yourself for those that don't know you? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Paul Thayer. I'm the creator and writer of Project Naosis and Omega 2090. That is our books that are under our publishing company, Visual Vibration, LLC. Project Naosis is a super stellar story. So basically, in the year 2090, a speedster named Crimson Pain kills off all the heroes in existence. So the government makes a super enhanced unit known as Project Naosis to kill off this rising rebellion. That is our main focus in the first layer of our story, and there's so much more that goes on. There's no multiverses in our stories. There's no do-overs, no retcons, straight shoot story. We're live on Kickstarter right now. Our volume 1, we have 4 books, and you can add on a 5th book. That is our spin-off series, all on our Kickstarter right now. We're fully funded. We are shipping these books out next month.
That is first of all, I want to say that's a great deadline. I mean, I've seen this guy pitch this in person too, just as good in person. And also, that's a great 1 month turnaround. That's a great turnaround from finishing a Kickstarter. So it's it's already ready to go. I've read everything you've put out so far. Because you had a 0, 1, 2, and now we're at 3, and then you had the spin-off book, correct? You had
So we had 0, we had Omega 2090.
Oh, I got them out.
We had episode 1 and episode 2. I sold out. That print run's coming in right now. Also right now on our Kickstarter, I added some variant covers on there. We have this 1 of 200. It's a wider book than our average book. So as you can see, if I line them up, see that's sticking out a little more. And then we have the Julian, that was Julian Shaw's cover. And then we have Johnny Morrow's cover. He did a cover B, which is our female lead Hellsate, but we also have Lithium up there as well. And then just today, I didn't bring one down actually. It was a Now or Never. We had 10 copies left of 100, one in 100 virgin cover of this guy right over here, and we have those up as well.
Oh, you have those up. I was gonna say, yeah, if those aren't sold out yet, we'll make sure. Because that is, I can go ahead and pull up the campaign right away, even if just to have it, while we talk. But what is because I know they explain it in the book, but for those of you, I remember when I first bought it, I was like, what the hell is Naosis? Naos? I was like, what the hell is this?
So Project Naosis is it means Project Mystical Warrior. So with all the superheroes dead, the government needs to make a classified unit because they can't have guys ripping off people's heads and have them on the mainstream media or any sort of media saying, hey, these are our heroes. These are a classified unit. They're there to kill. And, a little heads up in volume 1, there's a big chance that they're going to be known to everybody else. So it's going to take a huge tide shift in a lot of our books as well. We have tons of new characters coming in our next volume, as we already added and killed so many characters in volume 1. So something to look out for.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of you start off the story very strong. I will say it's one of those, you get right into the action. 0, because I am curious though why I know they did that. In the New 52, they did that a lot, the issue 0s, right?
Mm-hmm.
They why start with issue 0 instead of 1?
So originally Project Naosis was 1 through 6. 1 through 6 was going to be 6 issues done. And all the books were 44 to 60 pages. Now we have 15 episodes written out, and they're dragged out. Some are 40, some are 30, some are 24. But But at that initial 44 book, I was like, hey, like how if I do 44 pages and I didn't know Kickstarter or any of these crowdfundings existed at the time, I was like, I need something to get me in the door with these fans. And Zero is easy. It's 20 pages, gives you one character, one protagonist, antagonist, and it just shows that, hey, we got a new world, we don't give a fuck, and we're ready to roll.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so 15. So it is still. It's like you have a full plan. You just you're more so taking your time with it. Is what I understand.
So the original Project Naosis, the original thought of what it was, is the last episode. So
Right.
I was like, okay, I have this crazy thing that's going to happen. Okay, how do we get there? And I dived it all the way back. And I had episode 1. Crimson Pain didn't come into the picture until like me rewriting everything. And I was like, we need somebody to anchor the main villain into place, not them just coming after all different people. And I was like, all right, Crimson Pain. And even in this volume, Vantage was not a character. He's the villain that comes up in episode 2. He wasn't even supposed to show up till the end for like a quick fight scene. I had this cool design, and I really liked it. And I was like, hey, let's bring this along a little bit, especially for people that might not know me. If I already have a 6-book series and it's already done, it's like, okay, it's already done. I'm looking to drag this out. Omega 2090 is going to be a 4-part series. That's why I think 1 of 4 on there. Right. 1 of 4. We're actually halfway done with all the lines and inks of Omega 2090 Part 2, which will be on Kickstarter probably in about 2 months. The reason why we want a 1-month turnover is just because I'm looking to at least put out 6 campaigns this year, and they will be in your house a month to 2 months after you pay. Because that's a thing from my perspective. You go on a Kickstarter and Indiegogo, they're not shipping out to 6 months to a year. I want mostly everything done because I'm trying to make as much product as possible for the viewers, the customers, and especially when I go to conventions, like, hey, we got a line of things going on. We don't just got like 1.5 issues maybe coming in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things I will say. Your drive too. I mean, again, I got the Zero. Did you crowdfund Zero? Because I know I had met you when you were already doing it at conventions.
No, so I didn't even know.
Oh, so I've literally been there since the beginning.
Yeah, so Terrificon, where we met, was my first thing. I got in last minute. I just shot him an email. I was working on Zero for a long time. I'm able to pump these books out pretty quick. Zero took me about 6 months to get everything rolling. It was my first book. Who do I print with? How did my artist? I didn't know you had to size things. It's all trial and error. And I know eventually we'll be able to put out a monthly or a semi-monthly book. It's just getting there to the finish line. But I love the experience for a lot of people is, hey, you buy this, it's at your house. You buy it at your house. Or you meet me in person, you go, okay, this is the guy behind it. Boom, I bought it.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing that took a bit of adjusting. But I was able to adjust, especially knowing so many creators. But so many people are like, well, I just want to make sure I get the book because they don't understand, the crowdfunding model. Or also they're like, what if it takes forever? And you're always your stuff. I'm honestly surprised. Sometimes I'm like, I swear I backed this like 5 minutes ago because time just flies. But you always get it like right out there, and it's great. So we could take a look at this. So yeah, this has everything, right?
Yeah, 0, 1, 2, and 3, and you can add on Omega 2090 onto the campaign because we still have some books from the first print run still available.
That's awesome. Yeah, you've got. I like the design. You know what I like? Because you say it's superhero. It doesn't really look like a superhero book, and I mean that in like it does a bit. But I like. You know what I like? I like that it's both like high tech and gritty, but still colorful. Because it feels to me like it's either like black and white, or I mean not literally black and white, but there's like darkness, and it's like
they want
Snyderverse, for example.
It's cool ass colors. Because originally too. Omega was actually supposed to be black and orange, but when Corey I think it was Brian ended up doing it, we were just like loving that blue tone towards it. And it just ended up sticking with his armor, that blue tone. Kind of like how Venom has that black and blue original. Like we went for that same type of feel on it.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that look.
And in Omega 2090, he's purple and black. So you will see that in episode part 2 of it. So he'll have multiple.
He's changing up his. That's
well,
cool.
It's the prequel book, and if you check in your episode 2, the first page behind him when he's talking, you see the purple armor and you see the orange armor. So he has both in his arsenal.
So you're leaving those hints. Then,
I want everything to tie in. If you read Omega 2090 to episode 3, it's one story, but you can also pick up each book and go, okay, I know where I'm going. That's a lot of problem what people have. Even for me, for example, I'm like, I want to go to a store and buy an X-Men 9. But if I buy X-Men 9, I have no idea what happened because there's 40 issues of weird, compelling storytelling that even sum up in the first page.
Yeah, even if you read X-Men 1, you're not going to understand because they're just kind of like, yep, they're on an island. You're like, what? I thought they were where? Because they did that. Don't listen. You need X-Men reading guide. Don't me for my money. Not current stuff, but I would say this is again, it's like straight to the point. You get the world. You get it clear.
And that's our bad guy vantage.
I love this cover too. This is, what I like about this is it's both a group shot and it's also a minimalist cover. You know what I mean? Like I love that. It's dynamic. This is the kind of like old school cover that I kind of miss. The kinds that like it says something about the story a bit, but it's all you have all the characters, but it's done in like a creative way because there's so many covers. And look, I love group shot covers sometimes, but when every cover is just like a group shot cover. Or this is like a group shot, but just seeing them flying towards, I don't know. I love this cover a lot.
Gotta give Samuel credit because a lot of times too, when he hit me up, he's like, you just sent me something and it wasn't part of the script, or we'll just message each other back and forth, be like, I think this would be cool. He'll be like, I think this would be cool. And then he gave me a layout on this that had nothing to do with the script that I wrote. And he's like, this is the one. I was like, all right, let's do it. Like, that's it. That's how me and him work. So he came up with that design, and I was like, as soon as I saw the original sketch, I was like, that's cover A for sure.
That's really cool. Yeah. And then you've got the B cover right here. So is she on here? She is, right? That's her.
Yeah. So that's Hellsate. Everyone, in conventions, and that's why everyone really likes, that's Johnny Morris's same thing right here, this cover here. And he originally did the concept art and the original artwork for the characters. So that's the original Hellsate artwork piece that we ever made. And I was like, hey, we got all this artwork that I post on Instagram, but I'm not using them as covers. I was like, let me throw one of these up as a cover. And because Hellsate is one of our top leads. And so it was really cool to have her in the front.
That's really cool. Yeah, I also appreciate how minimal you are with the variant covers in terms of there's not like, it's cool. It's like just the right amount. There's like a few, but it's not like an overwhelming amount. Also, I'm amazed at how low you're able to keep the book prices. I mean, $10. You see so many that are like could be up to 40, and you get like a fair amount of pages with this. This is what 10. I remember the first one I got was. How much is that?
It was a $10. The first one was a $5 book for $20.
Right, so that was an easy one at a con. I was like, yeah, I'm already spending.
And I got you in. Yeah, episode 1 was 44 pages for 10, and the other ones we do put a lot of work in. The material, the books are nice. We don't use that flimsy stuff. We make the colors really bright. I add gloss on all the covers. So that's why they're at that $10 price and they'll stay there. But I wanted to find the happy medium because exactly what you said. It's like, okay, I want to back a Kickstarter, but it's $25 and $20 shipping, or or I found one, it's $20, no shipping. It's like, but it's only an intro. We have multiple options. $10 is a very fair price, and the shipping worldwide is only $10. I honestly bite the bullet. I get guys that buy it in China. I had to bite the bullet on that. That's just because I want it out there, and I know how it was. The last week we had a couple people, that bought $100 packages and added all the covers and everything like that. So it just weighs out the options.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I remember I've backed a book. I still haven't read it honestly, but it was like a little like manga style. The artwork was like whatever. No disrespect, but it was like $15 for like a lot of pages, and sometimes like bam, like that's But this is like high quality, like. Fully detailed, right? I like these. This is interesting. The blur effects too. Was that like how is that drawn?
I can send it to you. But the color, Prasad really adds that effect on a lot of these. He adds some of those visual effects because we'll have some great lines and inks, and Prasad brings it to the next level. And I'm so grateful that even with his busy schedule, he's staying on Project Naosis because we're putting out something that's completely different, and we know it's gonna blow up. In 1 year, we doubled the amount of backers that we've had, and we're looking for the same thing throughout the year as well.
Yeah, that's it's wow. 1 year you've doubled. That's crazy growth. You have that's really something special.
So we did 50 backers on episode 1, which was my first ever Kickstarter. Right now, I think we're at 119. So it's a pretty big increase. Once again, super grateful. And I know a lot of people are hyped about this book, and we're not. And everything, like I said, it has a beginning, middle, and end, but there's Easter eggs. There's a growing story. You're not going to see a guy fight a villain 3 times. It's not going to happen. There's never going to be Green Goblin's back on issue 19 after he got his ass kicked in 6. If he's getting his ass kicked on 6, that means his spine is leaving his body, or his rib cage is punched out of his body, because these guys are going. They're going for blood. It's not the UFC where there's a referee in the middle. This is like they are going to death. And episode 3, which you kind of got to taste episode 2, there is a street fight scene. And when they're fighting, the superheroes are getting thrown into civilians and they're getting ripped in half. Like, this is real life situations. And if they're not executing to their fullest extent, people will die around them.
I really like that mix of like that bright comic book coloring and powers with that realistic militarized kind of style. I was wondering like what kind of direction you gave the artist, like how militarized or like superhero, because they have a very distinct look to them. Like is it inspired by, I know there's a lot of ways. Halo at all? Like, is there any Halo in there, or am I just...
No, there's no Halo, but the point that I can see where you're coming from is that armor. Because that is why you meet episode 0.
Spartan,
Why is this guy in armor? Everyone thought he was Bane or Thanos, my man guy, but he's a speedster. They need armor. If you get shot in the face, you're done. Batman's little mouth guard, that's like a M16 ticket, to start firing off at that mouth. These guys have to be armored up, ready to roll. Thorn, that you see, he doesn't have a mask. He's an absolute psychopath, and he loves smoking, so that's why his helmet's sometimes off. And Hell State's made of fire. Realistically, if the fire is rolling, that's melting before it hits the target.
Right. So you think about this stuff a lot then, in terms of, I totally forgot. Yeah, the speedster stuff. You see the brutality of, because you don't see speedsters normally depicted in this way. So that's why I almost forgot that
And everyone thinks he's an alien, and that's a super enhanced guy. He's on the back of all of our covers. That's Crimson Pain. He's going to have his own spin-off book that we're almost done with, another 20-pager that takes place after episode 0. Because I wanted to show his rampage and how, he has his values, and, people think he's the most insane villain ever, but he has his reasons, and we're going to get each episode, we get a little closer to that secret.
Yeah, I do like that we're constantly moving forward in such a way. I think it's really great. I think, you look at this, even the lettering is just you have the different colors. That's really cool.
That's something me and Pete were talking about. Pete's my letterer, and he's also helps me with the production aspect, setting up all the files for me, making sure everything's good. He always picks my brain. If I need a size on my Kickstarter to be variant, he does it the same day. I'm really grateful for the team I have. And, especially when I say, hey, let's do something. He showed me 3 different bubbles. I was like, that's the bubble for Advantage. Because I want to make it different, but I don't want it too crazy where everybody got their own bubble, because then you're like, what's going on?
Right.
Omega, when he thinks it's purple, when Lithium thinks it's blue, when Crimson Pen thinks he's red, and then some of the bad guys have their own bubble. Otherwise, the normal guys will have that white bubble, unless they're really fueled with something that you were like, okay, if that's yellow and it's dark, he's not talking near you. It's coming out different. He got that mask on, and he's someone else.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's one of the things, the more I write and the more I just consume content and just read issues, that all the things you could do with the most even lettering. For example, you'll have often captions oh, this color means it's this character talking. This Wonder Woman, I remember, would have a golden caption sometimes, or in Batman Hush that'd be different captions. That was like that stuff's really interesting. And I'm sure it sounds to me like as you've gone forward with these guys over and over, that it's kind of like a well-oiled machine that you guys kind of know. You could just talk to each other about this. Is that?
Yeah, it's so communicative. Me and Samuel literally talk literally every single day. If it's just about something random or if he needs, to look at something, we always talk. And I'm different with my guys. If I'm not here to just say, hey, this is work. Let's go. Let's get the thing. We're asking questions. Why is this happening? When I told Samuel the other day that what actually happens towards the middle of the book, he was cursing me out that I spoiled it for him. But that just shows like even my guys like are like so into the story.
That's great.
And they're like, whoa, I don't want to hear any of that right now. Like I'm enjoying this character right now. Like, why are you telling me he's gonna go completely 180? And I was like, yeah, I just want you to know what's coming. Like, so
that's the thing too. Sometimes I'm debating like, okay, well, because you want to leave those little hints in the art, like as in, because it's like those little sinister hints or whatever. And I that's one of the things I find very important is finding that sort of enthusiasm in an art team, where it's not like obviously it's a job and you want to make sure that everyone's getting paid, but like it's also finding that enthusiasm is crazy too, like finding that.
Yeah, even Kyle, he did episode 1 with me and he's doing some variant covers with us. He's so into it, we're all like the people I get are like, okay, I'm involved with this product. Even when episode 0, when me and Corey Hampshire were going back and forth, he's like, yeah, I hear you that you want this helmet, but this helmet's going to look way better. Like just complete, telling me how it should be. And that's like some creators get in their own way of like, it's this. And, you got to listen to your artists. They already have a vision because I couldn't draw what they're drawing anyway. So if they can make something and make it so much better, I'd rather just change something in my writing to make it formed with this art
better,
I'm making.
And I guess that's one of the things you just learn as you're going. There's a reason why the Marvel method was, and I don't write Marvel method, but there's a reason why often they'd be like, just let what the artists know what they're doing, like the hands off. Sometimes that's better, honestly. There is such a thing as like overwriting, and that's
And it all comes from different things. Like sometimes, my guys would be like, no, I really need to go like what's going on. And, for example, last week I'm working on a book, with another creative team that I found, and I'm working with another company that's aside from Project Naosis, and we're doing a Zoom call. We're like, hey, I see this artwork. Let's switch it now this way. Or this is what's going on. Let's do it this way. Where we can all brainstorm and collab to make the best product possible.
That's dope. That's really cool. So we got here's everything. So Sam Marquez. Yeah, I keep because I know that Cubiscles are bought by who's that? Anthony
Sam
Marquez?
My artist?
No, I'm saying because there's another Marquez, so I wasn't sure if it was related. Is he?
Oh no, he's outside the U.S.
Oh, is he outside? Yeah, so many great artists outside the U.S.
My whole team is outside the U.S. except for me and Pete.
Oh, really? Wait, Pete is the letterer?
Letterer, yeah.
Hold on,
Prasad,
I like this too.
Daniel's outside. Kyle's close by to me. But we're working on a bunch of other stuff. And then Evan G, who's doing my one shot, who does all my back covers and a lot of my index pages. He's in Russia. It's like I get someone from everywhere because I'm not trying to, be biased towards anything, and I want the best product possible. That's what's so great about social media.
Yeah, I agree
with these guys, and it's like we're right next to each other.
It's crazy. Like I made one post just in a Facebook group, and then I just went out one night, and I was about my phone would vibrate every 3 seconds. Hey, I'm from Indonesia. I'm from Nigeria. I'm from all these people all over the world are blowing up my phone with this great artwork of all these different styles. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And it's just how many people all throughout the world, all these varying race, all these different things. It's really something special. So we're going to play. I do like that. I remember the first time I bought your book, you were like, can I take a picture of you? I was like, yeah, I do remember that. So look at all these satisfied customers.
Got to show the people happy. I've taken thousands already. I try to do as much as I can. At the busier cons, this is very hard to. but during sometimes I like taking as much pictures as possible.
I have no idea what your eventual plan is, but I know it's going to be some insane reveal. Like just because the book really it has that kind of feel to it.
Yeah, the whole thing, and this is not saying it's done at episode 15. The story of Project Naosis comes to an end at episode 15. Like what I'm driving. Episode 16 will happen, but like the main thing of what I wanted to get out is there. And yes, there's a lot of twists. There's a lot of things that happen in every single book. Like a lot of people already forgot that we have another guy coming back in episode 1. This is how real the stakes are. When Rifter, he's a telekinetic, he crushes this guy called Prince Euro, a teleporter of our group, and he's been in rehabilitation ever since. And coming volume 2, this guy's coming back, and it's going to put a way drastic thing in perspective because that guy is actually one of the sons of one of the head leaders of the world. So we have a lot of things that have been hidden and been waiting off for a while.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I remember I love planting these little seeds all throughout when I'm writing like an issue. The first however many issues, it's like, okay, there's these storylines. And that's one of the things where I probably will get like, why are you so descriptive with these background characters? I'm like, yeah, they're background characters in issue 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Just wait. Just trust me. It's like, why is this character? I'm like, I have plans.
And that's the reason, why I also have so many characters. It's not like every book, 6 guys are fighting one guy. No, I might have a 10-page mission with a couple characters, 5-page mission of another character. You're seeing what this guy's doing for 3 pages. And hopefully, I can't just be tapping myself on the back, that it's like easy for people to read and to follow. And they really enjoy the difference and that we're not following always one character or, the same person every single time. Mm-hmm. We could follow a villain. We could follow the hero. We can follow one of the number 6 character in the unit team on a mission because, it's all going to add up to the story.
All right. Totally get that. Totally. So I'm going to go back up and we'll play the trailer. Oh, you got the Kickstarter. What number are we at right now? You got all your stretch goals. Let's make sure you hit them.
We are close to that $4,000. We're at 3,692. That makes some bad at math. 4,000 minus 3,692. $308 gets everyone a hybrid trading card. Everyone would have this hybrid trading card. I print the amount that the backers would get. Maybe keep a couple for myself. But they would be for this campaign. Long term, I would love to make a trading card game, but this would have nothing to do with that. This would be an exclusive card that you would get. Like we did one for Omega 2090 that we hit the stretch goal for, and I'm not reprinting those. Those are a limited edition.
Oh, wow. Those are going to shoot up in value.
There we go. That would be the same for this. Otherwise we'll save it for the next one. But we are close. I know people's last 24 hours, for some reason, the Kickstarters increase at that last day because people see that they're funded. And they only have a limited time left. But we added a couple slots to it. So you're highlighting that the custom character. We're going to have a big splash page on the last page of the book, the inside cover of what's going on with all the characters. And then you will make a second appearance if it's with that character I designed for you, or if your face will be somewhere else, if it's a Pain Patriot, which is Crimson Pain's bad guys, or we have some of these different types of creatures that are in Omega 2090 that are going to come into play, and your face could be on it, etc.
That's so. Yeah, you hear that, guys? You could probably get brutally murdered, right, Paul? It sounds like in your world that's a possibility.
Yeah, we had 5 in the episode 2, and they get really destroyed.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
And actually, I put someone to be Vantage. So I'll give you a fun fact. The gentleman's from China that bought it. And, I originally wrote Vantage as a 45-year-old old man, like ready to on the decline. Now he's a 20-year-old, man with the Chinese descent, so it's like I could switch things like that because that's the great thing of having that creative control. And it still is the same exact story.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. That's, I guess, one of the things is trying to find that balance between fluidity and malleability and also being strong on certain things is always a struggle, I feel, with every creative, and it seems to me like you've got that down packed. So we're going to go ahead and Let's watch the trailer real quick, and then we'll come back.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our 4th ever Kickstarter campaign, Project Naosis Episode 3. This episode will conclude our first volume of the series. We are now back on Kickstarter, looking for your help to bring this next chapter in the story to life, with over 24 interior pages of amazing storytelling and phenomenal artwork. Now, for those of you that are new to Project Naosis, welcome to a world full of superhero sci-fi adventure. And in this world, there is no multiverse, there is no do-overs, just one epic, ongoing story. Now, for the story. In 2090, a speedster named Crimson Pain eliminates all the heroes in existence. And in this process, eliminating all the capitals that govern the world. So what does the world do? They unite under one nation to eliminate this rising rebellion. But now they have no heroes to fight back. So the government makes a super classified unit known as Project Naosis to fight against this rising rebellion with no restrictions, no rules, any means necessary to kill these villains. This unit is made up of soldiers, warriors, and fighters, given a serum, unlocking abilities never seen before, like energy powers, fire, teleportation, and much more. We follow this unit on their journey to unlock the true meanings of Project Naosis and the truth behind this war. Please join us, back this book, and show us the support that we need to make sure this becomes the biggest book yet. Thank you so much for checking us out. Hope you enjoy.
What a guy. You're muted.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. All right, guys. Yeah, make sure you back this. Let's try and get him to. Let's see, how many hours we got? 62 hours. Yeah, we can get you. You know, I hate that it's at an. It's come on, 120. We're so close to 120. Yeah, I mean, this is great. You really gotta. So I am curious because look, there's a lot of different. So what got you into comic books?
Always been into comic books since I was, very young. Loved my Batman, loved the animated shows. I was obsessed with the Justice League show, the old classic 90s Spider-Man show, the X-Men show. And that was my thing. Super, super Star Wars fan. That was my big thing. And then, for a period of time, I took off, reading as much comics. And when the New 52 came along, I really dived into it. Loved the New 52. And, after the New 52, again, took a little break, a little hiatus. And that's when I started getting back into it. And I've buy books every day now.
That's awesome. Yeah, New 52 was it was right when I was getting into comics. So I read some of those issues, but I know you're a big fan of Scott Snyder's Batman run, right? Was that?
Yeah, big fan of Scott Snyder. He's a Long Island guy, like myself. Super talented. I love that Batman run. Out of every single thing in the New 52, the only thing that I remember, I could tell you what happened in that first couple of volumes. I love that Joker cut off his face. I loved all that stuff. And it was really monumental for me. And actually, I was thinking back, the only books I really remember, and that's from what my dad gave me, was that, the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns books. Those were my initial, wow, I need to get into comic books. Like, as a kid, I was always trying to draw and things like that, but, it took the writing to make it official.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. There's oh yeah, Dan, sorry, normally I don't read the chat, but we do have another Long Islander in the chat. I do read it sometimes. But yeah, with this, Long Island, I didn't know that Scott Snyder, I thought you were a Jersey guy. Were you?
So I live in Jersey. I moved to Jersey, but I'm originally from Long Island. I've moved all over New York. I've done every job you can think of. And now I reside in New Jersey. That's a new home to be. And, love it here. And
it's not a bad state. Not a bad state. It's funny. I've met so many people from Long Island. I don't know if I've ever really been there.
Yeah, Long Island is there's not too many things to do over there.
Oh, really?
But it's you know, it was good.
Yeah. Let's see. So this we got. So Scott Snyder's. So is your favorite character then Batman? Is he your favorite?
Oof. Favorite character, Darth Vader. And then second favorite character, I'd say Batman. Books that I read now, I read a lot of Spawn stuff. That's really where I'm at. And unless I get a volume 1 or a volume 2 of some things, I've been keeping up with my Spawn.
Are we talking current Spawn, or did you dive back to the '90s?
So recently, because I don't remember a lot of that stuff, I actually was buying all the old volumes, just reading through because I wanted to see what works. Like, and I was telling you the other day when we were talking off air, it was like, what works, what doesn't work, what do I like? You know, let me read everything. I don't want to repeat things, even though there's no gods and demons inside Project Naosis. It's not a set in stone law, but it's most likely a set in stone thing that I'm doing, that there's no gods or anything in my thing. I want it to just be strictly a sci-fi one be all thing.
But so you were reading Spawn in the '90s stuff, or?
Yeah. I read everything. Reading Spawn. You know, I was just reading last year. I read that first Ultimate Edition of Invincible. I'm not reading the second one until I watch the show. And you know, I'm just trying to read as much as possible. I remember I used to get the Walking Dead books too. I was always
I never read those. I used to be one of those guys that would just look stuff up and be like, I'll get to the comics eventually, and I just keep looking stuff up, watching videos, and I never read the Walking Dead comics, and now I feel like a shithead because apparently they're great.
Yeah, and I also look at recommendations. I follow so many people on Twitter now. We have such a great community that's on Twitter.
Yeah.
And they give me, oh, I read this right now. And I was like, wait, what is that? And I ordered the book the other day. One of my guys told me to go pick up one of these boom books. I forgot what it was called. And I have it upstairs. I'm going to read it. So I'm just trying to intake as much as possible because, you know, like I said, I just want to make something different. And also got to support, you know, your local comic shops.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the things. I mean, there's so many. That's one of the big things in the comic book market too. Is despite the shrinking audience, which you know, I'm hoping to. That's one of my dreams, not just to get people who are already into comics, which is great, but to get people who are like on the verge of becoming comic fans. Because like you and I, it sounds like we were both pulled from like animated shows and movies and stuff, right? Like in video games.
Yeah, I loved. I was why I even watched the other day the Batman animated show. That was all I watched as a kid.
So
the original stuff, you know.
Oh yeah.
And I watched all the others through the years, you know, and
yeah. And then you want to learn more, and that's at least how I got into comics.
Because I'm rewatching that old stuff too. Because like I said, I stepped away from this stuff for a long time, and then when I'm reading back, I was like, wait, this is what actually inspired like my conscious, you know, my subconscious making this stuff. And I'm a super big fan in everything. You know, I'm gonna burst into, you know, fire once Mandalorian comes back on, all that stuff. So
yeah, I'm super. I mean, I look at these stuff and often I'm like, yeah, these really do shape my values. As you know, they do. Like people say that's cheesy, whatever. And like, I don't know. I just, you know, it's whatever. I think it's great. So you're you mentioned Avengers. Is that your favorite superhero team, or is that just, you know?
Avengers movies, big fan. They rebooted Marvel too many times for me to start reading Avengers again. I was looking at the old stuff. I had the old Marvel Now. I had the other things, Secret Avengers, all that stuff. I'm giving people the broad instinct of like, this is a team like the Avengers. There's six, 7 guys, you know, they're on a mission to fight big threats.
Right.
You know, eventually we will dive into like, what are the smaller threats and who are these? Are there other people that are hiding with superhero powers and things like that are afraid to come out? And, you know, volume 2, I'm really excited for. That's why everyone pick up your volume 1. We do have 3 great characters I'm happy to bring into play that I haven't released the names. I've dropped some character designs on my Instagram. One of the guys. I just don't want anyone to bite my stuff until it's out.
Yeah, no, I get that feeling too. It's like you want to promote it, but you want that like page turn kind of reveal, right?
Because the more, as you can see, they're in the middle of a city. There's no hiding what they're doing now, and it's going to really open up the world a lot more, from government officials, politicians, to, you know, people that were scared or people that now think, hey, now it's my turn to take over. A bunch of things are going to go down, and we want it the scale to increase each time, each battle, because in Volume 2, whoever is left of Project Naosis, if there is a team of Project Naosis, they will be facing off against Crimson Pain in the next couple issues coming up. So it's gonna be hype.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Did you? So obviously you have this whole world that you're building, and is this are you planning on doing anything outside the world, or are you just in this world primarily? Is it what are your plans? Just mostly focused on Project Naosis for the foreseeable future, or what? Did you have anything else? I know you mentioned you had a lot of books in that.
Project Naosis is the main, how it is. It's that's the main guys. These are the guys that have the real pull. These are global events that they're going to be taking part of.
Right.
But there is other characters that are in different areas that don't get that much light that will be coming into play because I did write it. I don't know if we're going to put it out this year or if it's going to be next year. I do have an anthology with 3 other characters that I wanted to show, a 10-page, a 10-page, and a 10-page of these other characters that are going through their own things that still tie in to maybe a Crimson Pain or an Omega character, and it broadens off into something else. There is other teams that are going to come into play that may be more politicized better for the viewer. And, there's also tons of different people that are going to come in through this world. So this is just the building point. I might do a world of Naosis and things like that, but we're going to
that's cool.
With this, and this is going to be my own creator-owned world forever. So I'm never going to stop doing Project Naosis. Eventually, let's even say, I'm not saying it is, if all these characters wipe clean, there's still going to be characters from that world that I would still work with to keep the story going, and then other things to be other things.
Yeah, never sell out either. Never sell it to anyone. Keep this,
Yeah, never. I do. People always would say, "Oh, I would take that money." No, it's not worth it yet.
Yeah.
People talk to me all the time and go, "Oh, I'll take this," or "I'll give you a percentage of this," and I'm fine with working with people. I have 2 books I'm making right now that I can't talk about yet with other companies.
Oh, nice.
That we're designing I'm designing the whole world for them and the team I put together for them. That has nothing to do with Project Naosis. But, Project Naosis is a futuristic sci-fi Mortal Kombat killing event. Other people, different fantasy. I'm working on a fantasy book right now for another company. It's all different stuff.
So you mentioned Mortal Kombat here and a few times. Are you a big Mortal Kombat fan then?
Huge.
Yeah.
That's where the fatalities come from because, they either punch out their spine or, they rip out their eyes or I can't tell you what happens to one of these guys, but something happens, or maybe they use their power against them to kill them and it'll be crazy. I want each kill to be nuts. Your guy's going out.
Make it cool.
Your character, he's going out horrible. Like the worst of the worst type of things. Because you don't get the death you want, So
yeah.
Especially,
that's ballsy. That's tough because I sometimes struggle with that where I'm like, I want them. Maybe they die quietly, and it's you're just no, they get their spine ripped out, they're done,
and the next person done, and the person after that done, and the strongest do survive, and the closer we get to that episode 15, the better. So it gets really. If you think Crimson Pain killing 90 million people, we got a couple more big things that happen in this world that are really, really screwed up. So
that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, so I guess that's the screwed up things happening to a lot of people is the Watchmen angle, then, right?
Yeah, devastating event. Who gets affected? You briefly talk about it in episode 2, but the guy Hybrid, the guy with the gun on the side, and he was the guy that was ripping into shreds because he could heal. He lost his family in New York. New York got leveled by Crimson Pain in episode 0. So millions of people died, and he happened to not be there. Would I dive into that origin eventually? Probably. But that's his driving factor that he wants to kill Crimson Pain for himself to redeem his daughter and his wife that got evaporated from this terrorist.
That's crazy. I feel like I have double vision. I see Vaughn, and then I see Vaughn's head behind him. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot that. Yeah, it's right up there. Anyway, yeah, normally I don't read the chat from now. Okay. Yeah, so there's That's crazy. Yeah, Watchmen is so. What are your favorite comics then? Is Watchmen up there, or is it just?
I love Watchmen. It's not my favorite comic. Big into DC. Love my DC. I was always into the zombie stuff. Marvel zombies. I love as much. People may not love it. I love that stuff. I just like the high stakes. Like I love when they bring it to another level. Like Mr. Fantastic, he comes in, he's bit by a zombie. He's done. He's out of here. Next guy. Now they're fighting the zombies. Magneto was fighting all the zombies until he died. Like that's insane. And it puts actual, like you want to turn and you're gonna like, okay, something's gonna happen. Not 2 pages later, and he's like, oh, I woke up from a dream. Like, come on.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time.
Or they're about to stab him and he goes like 7 days late before, and I'm like, come on, dude. Like, give me what I'm here for. People want real stakes, and even with our next campaign to come, Omega 2090, it's the origin of a couple of our characters, and Omega gets his first villain of someone that was in his life that gets traumatically affected from something that happens in the next book. So it's like everything ties into something, and for what it would be the same for any human. It's like if I had got into a traumatic event, it could affect me in a positive way or it could affect me in a negative way. And, you got to think of like what would happen to someone in that situation. And I bring it to that realism level, but they're still flying through the sky, punching through people through buildings.
That's that merging of fantasy or like sci-fi and superhero action and realism is a big, thing in here. So it seems to me, so you're influenced by video games, you're influenced by other comics. What about movies? Are you influenced by that at all in what you write, or are you just a fan of it?
Yeah, I'm a big movie guy. I watch movies all the time. Like I said, my biggest is Star Wars by a billion. Always been a big Star Wars guy.
What's
and then
your
of course, favorite what?
Star Wars.
Episode 3.
Really? Over Empire?
Revenge of the Sith was the best. That fight scene is the coolest fight scene ever when Anakin and Obi-Wan fight each other. That's what I'm saying. That stakes high. These guys are fighting like crazy. They're blowing through things and that was when the stakes were his highest. Like Anakin's killing everyone. He's like, he totally changed his character perspective. Now he kills the Jedi. Like that's real stakes, as much as, even me, and I'm rewatching the last trilogy of the Disney stuff. As much as people hate it, it's still like, they still have characters, at least they're not like retconning everything. They're staying true to the bullshit they made, and then that's it. So
I'm glad you can enjoy the more, well.
I love Kylo Ren. That was one of my favorite things. I sometimes just watch the first 15 minutes of Rise of Skywalker because I just love how he's the lightsaber and chops people down. You gotta be happy what we got, when we were kids, there was animated shows and that was it. And the animated shows were for the weirdos and everything. And now we got blockbuster, Darth Vader, Moon Knight, I'll consume it all, because there was a time, where we didn't have that. And I'm always going to stay true to that because the more we promote it, the more it's going to come. If Marvel wasn't so big, we would never have The Boys, The Invincible.
Yeah.
Or, there would never be even hope, for people like me that could eventually turn into a show or into a game or anything, and which would be dope. I would love a video game. That would be the end all be all. That's how we grow.
Oh yeah, totally. No, I totally get that. It's so let's see, Star Wars. So what are some other favorites? Like
I love Terminator.
I love Terminator.
Terminator was great. Big Predator guy. When Predator, all the Predators I like.
How was the new one? I haven't seen it yet.
It was okay. It wasn't anything special. My opinion, if guys with heavy machinery couldn't kill a predator, and you got a little girl who weighs 100 pounds that can kick and break her ribs, kills off a predator, it's a little upsetting. But different shows for different folks, and I watched it anyways and consumed it. I liked it. Did I think it was Would I watch it again? No. So
I get it. Yeah, I haven't seen. I love the first Predator. Aliens is one of my favorite action movies ever.
Movies ever. And even in Project Naosis one day, is it way far in the head? Possibly aliens and things like that can come. I'm not leaving that out of perspective. There always, there is a future room for that because it is based in the future, and a lot of Earth things that happen would need them to move elsewhere or other things like that. And it can be, like I said, it's going to be a story that's just going to keep evolving until, your main characters are gone.
Yeah, that's one of the things is with my writing too. I remember I was like, I feel like there's got to be aliens somewhere, and I just didn't know. And then eventually things kind of clicked.
Yeah, because if I bring that's the thing with Avengers 1, you bring aliens in right away. There's nothing higher than that. There's going to be a supervillain. Like once there's aliens, now you got to go like galactical aliens or like
Galactus, yeah.
These gods that are like run their planets. Like I'm not.
And then we're not go after God. You know what it is? It's kind of like. Have you seen the meme where it's like RPGs? It's like the first hour of the game. It's like, oh, you got to get this cat to your neighbor, and then it's like by the final hour of the game, it's like now you have to kill God. It's like that.
Yeah. We're fighting the baddest guy ever, so we're keeping it very grounded in Earth for now. There is things that are in the moon that are in our spinoffs, but that would be a wait and see thing.
So this is one of the things like I love about comics as a medium is that you can constantly be building towards something and experimenting and leaving like little doors open. And if you want to just create something, it's just just how your limitation is how much can you pay, the printing cost and how much can you pay your artist. It's not, and your imagination really. That's it. It's with a movie, it's like even film, and I majored in film and I still love film and I'm still going to work in film. Like film and comic books, right? But like one of the things, it's like if you have to consider the money for everything, like even studios would be like, can you cut out this action sequence? It's not really, can we maybe set in a different location? We can't really afford to shoot there. Yeah, I love that in comics you don't have any of that. I also love that all these minor characters in comic books, because you're able to create stuff so easily, you could just take them and just plop them somewhere else, or you could expand them. Like there's so many characters that are like, you look at their first appearances, so many iconic characters, and it's like, yeah, there's something, but you keep stringing them along, or you plop them in a different setting, or you get a different artist or something, and suddenly they become something big. And I think all those elements, all those kinds of things I love about comics, just based on the way you talk, seems to be exactly the stuff you recognize too.
Yeah, we a lot of the characters too. Like it's like some of them didn't exist, and once you rewrite, you can't be afraid to rewrite stuff.
Oh no, all the time.
I had one of the main 5 characters. He was supposed to die in book 2. It's not happening. Like things change based off of different things. Like I planned on the original script Project Naosis is nothing like what it is except for the ending. So it's been dragged out more, and there might be. Which I'm deciding on now, depending on what we're doing for volume 2, which volume 2 is done. There might be another volume that I have with these other characters that kind of bring it a little closer to that ending in a different way. So doesn't completely make you go, oh shit, now this character is completely different. Like it's going to kind of grow a little longer, which I'm trying to do, extend as much as possible, but I never want to have any filler issues. Like everything have to be like insane. Like there has to be like, okay, if they're fighting these people, like what's going to come from these people that the reader's going to be like, okay, I want 4 more of these, but you only giving me 1 more. And now we're back into this crazy concept of Crimson Pain, which is the end all of what they will end up facing.
Yeah, there's always that stuff. There's always that building. It always feels like when I'm reading your stuff that you're really building. You're in the moment, but you're also always. I'm just like, what's behind the scenes? There's like something behind the curtain.
Yeah,
that's
what you say it. But I told you, which some people notice and some people don't. I told you one of the Easter eggs that are in one of the books just for fun. Yeah. And now it opened up your eyes again. Like, oh shit! Like, wait, I didn't see that. Now,
yeah. I remember the con you pointed that out. You're like, and I'm like, how did I not?
Yeah, some of the things are right in front of you, but sometimes, in comics they go to waste, or there's a different writer in 2 books who doesn't give a shit about that plot. And I have my vision, and if I know, and this is what I've been doing now too, like we're lettering the last 10 pages of Project Naosis. I read it a couple times over, and I read from Omega 2090 to episode 2 to make sure they sound the same now, that they feel the same. If there's changes, they're changed because of page 9 in episode 2. And, so like I want to make everything flow. And when we do which we'll do this year. We are going to most likely do a hardcover at the end of the year.
Oh, awesome. You guys hear that? Make sure you keep an eye out for that too.
Of all these books. And we're going to remaster 0 and 1 with one letterer and make sure everything is fluent through. Not saying it's not, but I just want it even more perfected. That puts these even at a higher value because there are some edits that need to be done. And, our logo has changed. Like, so much has changed in a year. And, I could be saying the same thing next year. So
that's great. That's great to hear all that you're really, you're always just chugging along, and it seems like you're always, because I'm one of those people that's constantly rewriting. And even still, I'm like, I need an editor. I just need it. Because it's like you get that other thing. But it's like, I cannot tell you, to the point where I'm sure you've gotten this, where you get sick. You're like, I don't want to write this fucking origin story again. I've written it 50 times. You're like, but you only get one shot at it. You might have to rewrite it 50 more times. You might, or maybe 5 more. 1 more might kill me. 10 more will obliterate me, but it'll be worth it in the end.
Because I didn't have, you don't have Omega's origin story, and that's what Omega 2090 is like, okay, we just see this guy, he has powers for 4 years. Like, what do you mean? Went from 0, and now 5 years later, he's leading a team, he's like crazy, like he's insane with his powers. Omega 2090 really stretches that down, which is coming. He's gonna have like a blaster that he shoots the energy out with his hand because he needs to concentrate it into a weapon at first. Because people are learning their powers, and that's why I'm happy I'm doing that. As soon as we finish the Omega 2090, I probably will have another 4-part series that spins off on the side as well, like just to keep that routine going. But the way this one went, honestly, after we do the next Omega 2090 campaign, I'm most likely going for episode 4 for Project Naosis, just because of the 119 backers is nothing to play around with.
Right. So you're gonna steamroll that your thing going back to Omega 2090, or you're thinking?
So Omega 2090 is halfway done. Crimson Pain one-shot's halfway done. Those are definitely coming out this year. And that's the next campaign is most likely, well, it is Omega 2090 Part 2. And then I think we're jumping right to episode 4 with a new volume, with a new direction of the deterioration and the angles of different characters. The effects of what episode 3 is to the world. And, in volume 2, we will get Omega versus Crimson Pain, so it's gonna be sick.
I'm really looking forward to that, man. I'm really looking forward to all this stuff, honestly.
Like I said, if someone dies and I put the 2 main characters against each other, it got to get real. So that's what we're gonna be looking for.
So yeah, everyone make sure. And Paul, you have I think I put it in the video description if it's on YouTube. I don't know. Twitch is a weird platform. It doesn't. I don't know if it copies.
Yeah, Project Naosis. You type it in, you'll see that we funded all these books already. You'll see our new book, and follow us on that. Follow us on Twitter. Same as my name, Project Naosis. Same on Instagram. Same on TikTok. This is what I want to be your favorite read every month or 3 months, because we really do put so much love into it. We really put so much passion into it, and we do want to make it so big, but big within our community. We get 1,000 warriors that love this book. We're doing this for a lifetime. So
yeah, you hear that, guys? Yeah, this is one of the things I love about comic books too, is just the support in each other's dreams and all that. And I always want to make sure I play into that. It's I got yours initially because I was like, I just want to support this or whatever. And, I'm interested in the story. I'm interested in where it goes. And I really want to make sure that other people get the opportunity to witness where all this stuff goes too. So I'm sending out all your socials and everything so they can stay updated. Yeah, it sounds to me like you've basically promoted everything, but on the off chance that I haven't had you promote, is there anything else you want to promote or anything else you're working on?
No, that's it. Realistically, follow the Project Naosis on everything. Omega 2090. Soon as we ship the books is when we're launching the next campaign.
This guy moves fast. He doesn't fuck around.
So I don't want you to forget about it. I don't want you to put it off. We finally have, this money goes right into the books. Like it doesn't go to me. I don't touch this money that you see. This goes right into making more books, paying my guys, because I pay everything out of my own pocket to these guys. And this just goes right to them and to make more and more content. So the support goes somewhere. Don't miss out. We have 3 covers on there that you're never going to be able to get again. Our episode 1, 3, we have 3 variants. You'll never be able to get it. So I highly recommend doing so. 61 hours left. We're playing no games. And, I appreciate all the support.
All right, everyone. Yeah, make sure that you absolutely back this. Let's go ahead and refresh again. Let's see if you guys – and you're going to Indiegogo too with this one, right?
Yeah, we're going to – because I know from talking to Shane, from talking to other people, other people use Indiegogo. I've seen, major guys like Tyler Kirkham and all these guys that go on Indiegogo, and there's an audience for Indiegogo. And the exclusives that we have on this Kickstarter, I'm not putting there. So we have the Hell State cover in here. We have the episode 1 covers. That's not going to be on our Indiegogo campaign. So you got a lot of exclusive stuff. And we do have a Kickstarter page at the end too with your faces on it. That's always, that's going to be there, but it's going to say Kickstarter. Maybe the next one will say Indiegogo on it. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to do that because we want to just, like I said, if we got 120 of you, we need another 880, and we're doing this for a lifetime.
All right, so that's good enough, and that sounds good to me as a creator and a fan. So we do have. I do want to say. So let's see that. So that's everyone. Make sure you check this out. If you're watching this review later and Paul's bigger name or whatever, you're just going back because I like to make these interviews not just for now but for later. So
I got something. You're right. So if you do miss this, you watch this a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, Project Naosis, that title right there, .com, we ship books right to your house. It's all going to be the cover A's. We don't put any variants on there. It's all cover A's unless we have a limited drop. So if you miss this, you can get all the books on there as well.
Just not the variant covers.
No variant covers. And if we sell out, like if you look, episode 2 wasn't on there. We're shipping those with these new batches that are going to come from this campaign. So we had a lot of pre-orders on our website for episode 2, which is great. Either if you do Kickstarter, Indiegogo, my website, it all goes back to us. So if you end up missing it, missing some of the exclusives, you'll still be able to get the cover A. You'll still be able to get the story. And the only thing too, we only sell digitals on the crowdfunding. We do not sell it on our website either.
That's all right. So you don't sell digitals on the website, only crowdfunding.
Nope.
That's good thinking. So yeah, that's all great. Yeah, like I said, we're going to be watching from now. So hopefully, if you're sticking around, make sure you check out his website. You go to a lot of cons, right? What cons are you going to this year? Because I'm.
No, we got a list. Okay, let's look. I'll stay with me 1 second. So for sure, we have Atlanta Comic-Con. That's in Atlanta. We'll be there next month.
Atlanta Comic-Con's in Atlanta?
Yeah. Yeah. You made me think for a second. I was like, wait. We are doing WonderCon in Anaheim. I will be at WonderCon every single day. I'll be at San Diego Comic-Con. That is in July. We are doing Big Lick Comic-Con in April. We will be back at Garden State Comic Fest in June. I just got confirmed in July also. So July, we have Hershey Comic-Con. I'll be there all weekend. San Diego Comic-Con. We have Terrificon at the end of July. September, we have Baltimore Comic-Con. I'll be back there. And waiting for those things to open up, but I should be at New York Comic-Con as well.
All right. You guys hear that? That's some great news. That's some really great news. So you guys got tons of stuff. So Garden State, I'll be there. I don't think I'm going to be tabling because I want to make sure I have books, but I'll definitely be there. And I know a lot of people I know will be there. So I'll definitely meet you there. Baltimore was great. I loved that convention. So make sure if you ever catch Ball at a convention, make sure you say hello and whatever and get some books from him if you haven't already. I think because normally I've bought basically everything you've done. By the way, the lighting is changing. It's because the sun is going down. You're not slowly descending into madness for you or anyone watching. So real quick, so yeah, make sure you follow Paul on all socials. Make sure you back Project Naosis. And you know what? Let's see. We're gonna go ahead and do one last refresh. If you guys haven't bought yet, make sure you go ahead and do so. Here's the thing: people often don't catch things right on the dot. Often they'll catch things later. But so this is great because we need more young blood in the industry. And, it's great having people like us. You know what I mean? Like we gotta take over. But
everyone thinks I'm 35, man. Make them think that.
Well, I didn't realize you were buying it. I was supposed to. Yes, this guy is 35 years old.
Yeah. -10.
So, that was a great one. I was trying to pull up the thumbnail for this, so I do want to announce something. At the end of every episode of Vaughn Coleman Presents, I'm going to announce my next guest. So, and I promise I'm not only going to do comic book writers, right, or even just comic book people. I'll do other stuff, YouTubers, people in the film industry, what have you. But my next person is going to be a comic book writer. Ladies and gentlemen, I am having on the great Mike Barron. He actually reached out to me. And so I'm not sure, Paul, have you read any of his work yet? Or
did The Punisher, The Flash, all that? Yeah. What else did he do? Star Wars?
Yeah, this is I wish I could show it in wait, can I just, is there a way I could show just the background? Nope, that's not it at all. I'm trying to think of how to get to just put picture in layout. Shift. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell is.
Still us.
Yeah. Well, you'll see the full thumbnail. So he did Mike Barron. He did some Flash. He did. I think the first Wally West Flash was him. I know the first ongoing Punisher series was him. He did Florida Man. He has a book out called Private American. Nexus, this is one I'm going to start reading very soon. It is the longest writing independent superhero book ever. He did the graphic novel adaptation of a lot of the Star Wars Legends stuff with Admiral Thrawn. That was he did those adaptations. Big name. Worked on a lot of stuff. Yeah, Nexus is like the longest running, I think, indie superhero book ever, I'm pretty sure. So everyone make sure to stay tuned next week. But for this week, make sure you give Paul some love. And even just if you're catching this years from now or a week from now or hours from now, make sure you drop by, check out whatever he's doing on Kickstarter or Indiegogo or on his website. And yeah, I think that's it. So I'll see you guys next time. Paul, you have any final words?
No, that's it. We'll talk soon.
All right. See you guys. Thank you so much.